everybody. Welcome to another edition of the M-Class Podcast. I'm Jeff.
Hi, I'm Josh.
We're Jeff and Josh, and we sure do fucking love Star Trek.
We love it so much, we'll even watch the bad Star Trek for you, as long as you listen to us talk about it.
Yeah, thanks everybody for choosing that. We had three good fucking choices, and you chose Bad Episodes Collection.
This has been the worst 3 months of my life. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I was
Whatever.
like, God damn, has it been that long?
It feels like it's been 3 months watching this shit.
Yeah, full disclosure, we did 2 of these at a time because fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sit fucking... let's do them. Let's do it. Pull the Band-Aid off,
Get
man.
it out of the way. And this one was like... It's painful in a different way, because the episode is like really fucking fast. It's over really quickly.
I was watching it while I was like playing Fortnite. Like I just had it on, and I was playing Fortnite and just like goofing around and shit. And I like looked at the Netflix. Like I looked at the time because I remember the episode. Like I've seen it before, so I was like, this feels like it's almost over. And I looked at the time, and it was like there was like 5 minutes left. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like,
yeah,
what happens in this episode?
Nothing happens in this episode.
I don't even think we can do a summary of it because nothing happens.
We'll try.
Oh my god.
We'll get in there.
There's so much to talk about in the first like 2 seconds of this episode that's so stupid.
I want to very quickly say that this was written by someone named Michael DeLuca. The story was.
I've never heard of that guy.
The teleplay was by Brannon Braga.
Yeah.
But the story itself was written by Michael DeLuca, who is a producer. He is not a writer, first and foremost. Although he wrote National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, that fucking classic, right?
Remember that one?
Look at
all the stuff he's
producer
done
on a lot of shit. The Mask, Blade, Austin Powers, fucking 13 Days, Rush Hour 2.
He wrote Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which makes sense because this is kind of a horror episode.
Yes.
He also helped write Judge Dredd, the really great movie. Not the good one, the bad one. Judge Dredd. Yeah.
But he is first and foremost a producer.
Oh, boy.
So maybe that makes a lot of sense on how this shit ends up. Like, the idea behind this episode is it's sound science fiction, but not in the world of Star Trek. The idea, not the execution.
This is a Twilight Zone episode, honestly.
The idea is that Tom Paris wants to reach Warp 10, trans warp, which is existing in all spaces of the universe at one time, which is a theoretical impossibility.
Which isn't what transwarp is, though.
It is not.
Because transwarp, the Borg have, and it's like using like I guess it's more like using like wormholes, like manufactured wormholes.
Transwarp existed in Star Trek 4 as well.
The great experiment. They call it the Great Failure, though, right? Yeah, because the Excelsior doesn't work.
The Excelsior has transwarp, but it just means real fast warp. It doesn't mean special warp.
Plus warp 7, like over warp 7.
Yeah. Tom Paris breaks the warp barrier, and breaking the warp barrier. Breaking the transwarp barrier makes him super evolved to the next state of humanity.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about I want to talk about them figuring this out, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So in Star Trek, you're used to the techno babble and the it's like filling a balloon with too much air and all that shit.
Yeah, of course.
In this episode, these 3 idiots who are one of them is a criminal, the other one's an ensign, and the other one's kind of a criminal, but is also an ensign, decide that they're gonna just rewrite the history books and invent transwarp.
These are not super important, well-learned, best of the best in Starfleet people.
They're not theoretical physicists.
No, this is a standard ship's engineer, an ensign, and a dude who was just in prison.
Yeah, another ensign who is like got a hotshot pilot.
Yeah, like they figure out transwarp, which is something that no one has ever been able to figure out.
Yeah, hundreds of years of like,
and they figure it out like around coffee.
Yeah. Well, also Neelix is there.
Yes.
So they do that. They do the old.
Say anything else that makes the episode a million times worse.
They do the old Star Trek bit where they cold open and like Paris is in the shuttle and it's like crashing, right? And you're like, oh no, what's happening? It's the holodeck.
What's happening to my favorite character, Tom Paris?
He's in the holodeck. He wasn't crashing, guys. He didn't do it.
He's okay, everybody.
It's fine. It's fine. And then from there, you have the three of them being like, how do we solve transwarp? Ugh.
Yeah, like, they go to the fucking cafeteria and have coffee.
Yeah.
And that's how they fucking figure out transwarp.
And then Neelix is like, well, when I was a pilot, we found out that the dark matter was pulling the ship apart. And then Tom Paris is like, oh, I know. We'll just make the ship stronger. We'll make the metal stronger. Yeah, there it is.
Well, maybe it's not the nacelles that are getting pulled away from the ship, but the ship's getting pulled away from the nacelles. Okay, you still have the same fucking problem.
It's the same problem. It doesn't matter which one it is.
But they fucking fix it because of that, because it's written fucking terribly.
It's written by a moron.
And then we have, like, this scene where they just suck Tom Paris's dick right off of him, and they're like, you're gonna be right there next to Zephram Cochrane and the Wright brothers.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah,
Neil Armstrong.
I'm gonna be the best. And then they like immediately turn around and are like, actually, you can't go because you have like a fucking dick problem. You can't go anymore. He's like, well, I'll lose my dick. I don't care. And
they pull
like,
some Apollo 13 shit. It's Apollo 13, right? When they're like, you have the measles, like you can't go, right?
And then he's like, all right, you can go again.
Yeah, Janeway's like, it's fine. That's okay.
I just wanted to make you feel like your whole world was crumbling around you.
We had to have something happen, so we made up this problem.
Something has to happen in the episode.
Yeah, trust me. There's not a lot going on. We need something. Jesus. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I like how they do it with just like a standard like shuttlecraft.
It's like a fucking it's not even a runabout. It's a regular fucking shuttlecraft.
It's the class whatever. It's the pointy one, not the stubby one, the pointy one.
Oh my god.
Let me look it up.
They call it the Cochrane.
Yeah, because it's like
he's gonna be Zephram Cochrane. It's a class 2 shuttle.
Class 2, there you go. Class 2.
Yeah. Fucking
they're real small.
The Doctor in this episode, by the way, he plays a very big part throughout the rest of the episode. He is like a fucking Zucker Brothers character in this episode. He's just like mugging all over the fucking place with like little quips and sarcastic bits.
He's a goddamn sassy bitch in this episode is what he is.
Yeah. I'm like, they really thought he was going to have to be the comedic relief. They had to have some, and he was going to be all of it.
Yeah, well, this episode gets real stupid real quick, so...
Yeah, it sure fucking does.
Dude.
But
I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm trying to, like, think of things that happen, but, like...
Well, Paris does his fucking flight in the Cochrane.
Yeah.
And it works. And they can't fucking find him anywhere, and they're like, oh, I guess he's dead. Oh, well. And
they're like, where'd he go?
Nobody seems to care that much. They're like, oh, he's gone. Well, I guess we'll find him. Whatever.
Or not.
And he
could have disintegrated into vapor.
He shows back up alive, and they're like, is he dead? And the doctor's like, no, he's asleep. And they're like, can you wake up? And he goes, all right, wake up!
Yeah, wake up, Tom. Well, how does the ship find its way back to the other ship?
He says something later, like he saw all of existence. And
oh, right.
They wanted him back, so he just went back.
That makes sense. Sure,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
And he talks about all the shit he saw and everything, and he's like he gives the speech from the end of Blade Runner about all the shit he saw.
Tears in the rain.
And they're like, oh, well, that's good, I guess. Anyway, you're sick.
Yeah, he's got like a thing, right? Because Wait, no, he goes back to. What happens then? They let him go, right? Don't they?
No, they keep him in the sick bay. No, he does leave. He goes to the mess hall and he has coffee and he like fucking passes out.
He like poops himself, like he almost dies.
Yeah, he has
or
like an
whatever.
allergic reaction to water.
Yeah, which is like super fucked up.
Which is really good. That's where we're going as humans. We're gonna evolve.
Yeah,
That's the
nobody
thing
needs
about
water
This
anymore.
episode is one thing does not lead to another in this episode. It is a series of
It's
events.
leaps. Yeah, leaps in logic. It's a logic leap.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
And
They don't explain it like Star Trek like either, where they would be like, well, here's why, like, you know.
no, they don't do any of that shit.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
learn that he's hyper evolving until the last 10 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
And
Which might as well be now. Because,
Yeah.
like, what happens between now and then?
nothing. He's in the fucking thing, and they're like, "Oh, well, he can't process oxygen, so we have to put different oxygen in. Oh, his
Yeah.
lungs aren't working, so we have to use radiation."
It's the fly.
Oh,
Like, we were talking
yeah.
about this before the episode. You called, what did you call it? You said it was very...
It's Cronenbergian.
And I was like, yeah, it's like it's him deteriorating. It's just him
it's
dying.
The Fly. It's Cronenberg's The Fly.
I remember watching this when it was on. I remember this, and I remember the part where he like rips his tongue out, and I was like, oh my god, like. And I wasn't weird about shit like that as a kid. Like I could watch whatever.
It was completely out of place.
But it's just crazy. It's crazy.
It's
You're like,
in a
what the
Star
fuck is
Trek
this?
episode.
Yeah. What am I watching? Like, what is this?
But like fucking Tom Paris dies.
yeah.
And the doctor's like, "Oh, we have to perform an autopsy, so leave." And then Kess, being a doctor's assistant who's learning about medicine, kisses a corpse that just
A
died of
rotting
some
corpse.
mystery ailment.
Is she with him at this point? I don't
No,
remember.
she's never with him. She's Neelix's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Why
she's
did
like,
she-
she really wants to cheat on Neelix real bad.
With a dead person.
Yeah.
Maybe she's into that, man. I don't know.
And fucking, like, the doctor, like, comes out in the middle of the night and Tom Paris is just alive. And he's like, "Oh, you're alive now." And Tom Paris pulls out a clump of his hair and he's scared. Like, because his hair came out. I'm like, dude, you fucking died.
You were dead. Your face looks like you're dead. Like,
Yeah.
you look dead. Like, you look like a dead person. Like, a dead person that's been in the water for, like, months.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
what he looks like.
He's got fucking water rot, for sure.
Yeah, he's a fucking bloaty, gross corpse.
He is a cadaver and a half. Especially because he now has 2 hearts. And the doctor's like,
right.
he makes a joke out of it.
Sure.
He's
why
like,
not?
"It looks like all your organs are back in place, and you even have an extra one." And Paris is like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, you have 2 hearts."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
This episode sucks. This episode sucks.
We get this little bit of like a through arc with this no-name character who's giving information to the Kazon.
Oh, I always forget about this bullshit.
Yeah, and like you really start to wonder like what could possibly be his motivation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was friends with the traitor girl, the girl who defected, who turned out to be a
the
Cardassian
Bajoran.
and
Yeah.
defected.
Yes.
And
that happened already.
Yeah, that happened already, and he's
Yeah.
trying to get in with the Kazon because she's with them or whatever. But he was just
Right.
kind of like friends with her, okay? And like,
Yeah.
I get that he doesn't really like the Federation because he's a Maquis, which is also stupid. But like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna sell out the only beings in the entire quadrant you know to join up
Right.
a bunch of people you've never met before.
To join the space trash people
Yeah.
who like can't even get water. Like they don't even know what water is, but they're gonna like do what? Take like what's the deal? Like what's going
This
on?
plot's dumb as fuck, but that only lasts a second. And then, like, we learn that Tom Paris is, like personality shifting. He's, like, acting like a crazy person.
Yeah, he's getting real nuts.
And, Janeway comes in, and he's just turned into the dude from, RoboCop that gets the acid thrown on him.
Oh man, do you know how many times I like me and my cousin who listens to the show would rewind that part and slow-mo it? because he had a VCR that had slow-mo, which was like crazy. And we would go frame by frame and just watch him explode against the car. And we would laugh every time. We were like, this is hilarious!
Jesus Christ. Like, when he's fucking like slowly walking along going,
and he just liquefies, like as soon as he hits the car, it's liquid.
Jesus. But yeah, that's what Tom Paris looks like, except he's got like skin tags hanging all over.
He's got like a really big one on the back of his head.
Yeah. And he's like, you're trying to take away what I'm becoming, and I'm like, dude, you look like a fucking pustule.
It's The Fly. Dude, it's The Fly.
Yeah, it is. This is just a ripoff of The Fly.
It's The Fly. Yeah, he's like, I'm becoming better, and it's like, no, you're like, dying.
You guys don't like me. You're all just fucking, like, jealous.
Yeah, he gets all nuts and starts... He, like, yells at the captain. He's like, I fucking hate you, you bitch. And it's like, whoa!
She's like, you just look so small to me. I'm like, well, she is, like, 5'3", I guess.
She's really short.
But, like, Paris pulls his own fucking tongue out, and he's real psyched about it.
He goes like, he does this, like, weird smile. I think that's what creeped me out more than the pulling the tongue out,
I ain't got no tongue no more, huh?
And then he had to fake like he didn't have a tongue, which is, like, really hard to do, and, like, you can't say words if you don't have a tongue. Like,
no, and you keep seeing his tongue, even though they've obviously put, like, a black thing over it.
Yeah, they put, like, a thing, and they, like, told... Like, like you can't like, if you don't have a tongue,
say
you
words
can't
without a tongue. That's what
you
your
can't
tongue's
talk
for, besides tasting.
Yeah, you can't speak.
And they're like, "Oh my god, he's transforming even faster." And he's like, "Get me off the ship because I want to be catfish." And they're like, "No, we don't want you to be a catfish. We want to turn you back into a normal guy."
Yeah, he's like, "I want to leave," and they're like, "What are you fucking talking about?" Which is like. It's like always the thing with Star Trek is like something happens to somebody, usually not this stupid.
No, usually not.
But then they're like, I gotta go. And it's like, you're in space, man. Like, there ain't nowhere to go. It's called space for a reason, dickwad.
So they take Tom Paris to the warp core, and they're gonna, like, shoot anti-proton radiation into his ass.
That sounds safe.
And he's just, like, he looks like the guy from TNG who has, like, the little breathing harmonica, like the alien.
Benzite. What's his name?
A Benzite. He looks like a Benzite. It's like the same makeup. It's just red instead of blue.
It's just red. Yeah. They were like, we got these Benzite masks. We gotta use them.
And they try to give him all of the anti-protons, not fucking working. And then he breaks out because he's got super strength now, I guess.
Yeah, he's strong now.
And he beats up everybody in engineering and escapes. He beats them all up. And Janeway goes off by herself to find him.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what a captain should do. Like, fucking Picard at least would bring, like, Data.
Worf or Data, yeah. He'd bring Data because Data can't be affected by that shit. Yeah.
He would, like, always bring, like, Riker and Data with him when he went to go do shit. But Janeway just goes by herself so that she can get knocked out by a fish man.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, other shit happens, I guess. We're,
like, already... This is, like, the episode. Like, this is the whole episode.
They, like, chase him around a little bit, and then he gets back in the shuttle, and he fucking kidnaps Janeway, and...
This is the whole episode! This is it!
Yeah,
We're, like, not even at the commercial break yet, Jeff.
You know what? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're like not at the commercial break yet. We're not even fucking 20 minutes into this episode. We're gonna do a couple emails as well in this episode.
Yeah, why not? I don't care.
Hopefully we got some good stuff from you guys. We got two emails. It's gonna be a short episode.
Alright, we'll take a break now and we'll come back and we'll talk about the end.
Sure.
This is ridiculous.
I want to go a little bit more in depth behind the scenes with this one, and hopefully learn something about this episode.
Absolutely. Let's all filler, no killer this episode, guys. Sorry,
everybody. You brought this upon yourselves. We'll be back after this message.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
All great explorers.
With 9.9.
9.95.
Cross a dangerous threshold.
Warp 10.
To break an impossible barrier.
Congratulations, you just made the history books.
But one man's journey,
Medical emergency.
one man's risk,
His body is going through some sort of mutation.
is another man's terror.
What's happening?
On the next Star Trek Voyager.
Welcome back. This episode fucking sucks.
We're like at the end. Like this is. I'm not even kidding. This is it. This is all that happens.
We have more for you guys after the episode's over, so don't run away.
Yeah, I feel really bad, but like also like literally, this is it.
Yeah, so let's backtrack a little bit. And we'll get into it a little bit more. Like Janeway goes by herself, which bothers the fuck out of me that she would go by herself. And not only that, but she also like gets knocked out by Tom Paris throwing his entire body at her.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't hit her. He just like lunges his chest into her. Like he like chest bumps her like a drunk frat bro into an elevator. And she passes out because she has brittle brain disease, I guess.
Well, she is 5'3". So.
I guess. Tuvok has sent his security to everywhere on the ship except that section. And Paris takes Janeway to the shuttle bay and on board the Cochrane. And they just immediately fucking take off. And the Void, like, Chakotay's like, where are they at? Oh, shit! we already lost them?
That's Chakotay.
And then
Just phoning it in.
I better get more money next season.
I deserve more money.
I should be dating every woman on this fucking show. But so they try and pursue, but they can't get past warp 9.9.
9.95, right? That's like the
They get
limit.
past it, but they like drop back down because the ship's
Yeah.
gonna fucking blow up.
Yeah, they didn't fix it right or some shit, right? They gotta do that shit.
Like, it can't go any faster than that, or else it'll, like, cease. Like, here's the thing, right? It's like, Warp 10... I'm gonna get into this shit, actually.
Yeah, this is a good thing to talk about.
This doesn't make any fucking sense. Warp 10, apparently, according to Gene Roddenberry, this is his idea.
Yeah.
It allows you to exist at all points in the universe at one time.
Right.
Well, how the fuck does Warp 9.9 not almost let you do that?
I think...
The scale is fucking broken, dude.
I think his thinking is like it's like relativity, right? It's like the speed of light. Like you can't approach the speed of light, but the way that you'd have to do it, like how they do in Star Trek, is they find a loophole. Like they change the space in front and in back of the ship, and they make like basically a relativistic bubble around a ship called the warp field.
Yeah, the warp field.
But like you're inventing another thing that doesn't need to be invented. Like
It's not
you don't
the same
need to.
thing is the thing.
Yeah,
They're not.
yeah.
It's like saying that like a rocket ship goes like no, like your fucking rocket car goes 750 miles per hour, right? And
Right.
it breaks the speed of sound. But
Right.
once you break the speed of sound at 720, I think it is.
On the ground,
on
depending
the
where
ground,
you're at.
you break
Yeah.
that. As soon as you touch it, you're suddenly in all spaces of existence at once.
Well, that's what they used to think, though. Like, before they broke the sound barrier, people used to be like, we don't know what's going to happen. There were people who thought you'd, like, go back in time and shit, dude. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of Flash comics like that.
there's a lot of
actually.
stupid shit that people didn't know, you know? But, like, that's the thing about this is, like, you're already... Warp drive isn't real, so, like,
No.
you can do whatever you want. So why are you, like...
The
Why are
rules
you
of
putting-
warp don't make
Yeah.
any sense to me. It's like that's
We can talk
such a
about how it
leap.
works. Do you, I mean, in the story,
Sure.
so warp isn't like it's like exponential, right? So like
Yeah.
warp 1 is like just over the speed of light or the speed of light.
Yes.
Warp 2 is 2 times the speed of light. Warp 3 is 4 times the speed of light. Warp 4 is 16 times the speed of light. So it like
Yeah, it's exponential growth.
exponential, yeah. So I guess like once you're up to like warp 9, like the exponential growth is like so much, but like
yeah, I mean,
but you're just inventing that. It doesn't
that's
need to
like
be
not
that way.
Speed at that point, though. Like warp
Yeah.
is like a measurement of speed. Like
Right.
existing at all points in time at one moment is like, I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around it, maybe. That's the problem.
Well, it's hard because it's bullshit.
Yes, it is absolute fucking bullshit.
It's just fucking dumb. That's why.
It's a stupid concept. The whole idea that, like, Gene Roddenberry set this rule out, and the idea that you'd be at every point in space because he thought that no writer would want to touch it. Right. His idea was like, I want there to be a hard limit on warps, so we're not going like Dragon Ball Z warp ultra.
Absolutely, which is fine. Like, I'm fine with that, but you just make it be the limit then. Like, you just make it be a technical problem that was
a problem he ran into a lot, right?
Yeah.
As being like the Rainer inner of Star Trek,
right.
Like you can't break these rules. People would still just break them.
Well, you see, I mean,
he made this like repercussion for breaking the rules so that no one would want to.
That's I get it, and I know because we live in the actual universe that like we see that his rules being broken with the new movies and shit.
Yes.
Where like they're beaming people on ships when they're at warp, and like the warp doesn't make sense. Like it's
too giant and stupid. It's like
nothing matters at that point.
I love Dragon Ball, right? Like, I love Dragon Ball Z and everything, but like Dragon Ball Super especially is like, oh, well, Goku's up against a problem. Now he's got a new form, and it's
right. He's God Goku. He's fucking God Goku.
Dude, they have 3 more forms after that. So, like, 4.
It's like week by week too. They're like
4
next
more
week
forms after that, and like. That's the problem you would get into if you didn't have a hard cap on warp. We'd be at like warp 9 billion at this point.
Yeah, you could right. Like you're not making it better. You're making it worse. Like so like in Star Trek Online, it's a game, right? So like you get certain things that make you go past warp 9, but you're only doing that because it's a game. Like, you're just traveling faster because you got a reward. You know what I mean?
Even
like,
that's dumb to me.
It's dumb. They should scale it better, but like, how do you do that, right? Like, so like in a video game, like, it has to play like a video game. Yeah. So you can't have like...
What you could do is like, it's 100 years after the end of TNG, right? Do you remember
No, STO's 30 years. The Soliton wave.
The Soliton wave.
Well, they do that. You get the quantum slipstream from Voyager, and they let you use it every like 10 minutes or whatever. It's like a fast travel. It's just a fast travel.
Like, what they could do is like the Soliton wave gets perfected. Like it's not perfected. It's still in like trial periods, and like your ship once you like as a reward, once you get so far, you can get that as an upgrade. And then, like, well, you go like Soliton wave levels or something.
That's exactly what they do, and like it works though because it's a game and it's a mechanic in the game that just helps you. It doesn't matter for the story. You're just doing that because you're playing a MMO, right?
It doesn't really matter for the story. Like if they go past warp 9 in an actual episode or something, like who really cares about that? The problem is that's what the episode becomes about. Like
exactly. You can't have it be like, well, now we have to like go warp 13.
Yeah,
because like who cares at that point? Yeah, like it doesn't matter. I know I'm like the fucking Enterprise apologist, but there's a better version of this episode in Enterprise where Captain Archer's friend dies. He was in Starfleet. He was in like
Academy?
The test. Like he was like a commander when the other guy was also a commander when they were trying to break the warp 3 barrier.
Oh, okay.
And it's all about them like trying to break warp 3 and how hard it is just to get to warp 3, right?
Oh yeah, everything's a hard fought battle.
It's so hard, right? And like that is so much a better episode just to get to fucking warp 3.
Well, yeah, nobody turns into a catfish.
Yeah, nobody turns into a fucking catfish, dude.
That's fucking so stupid. And it's like, You know what they should put into the game is the fucking Star Trek Discovery like ghost engine that lets you teleport around the fucking universe.
The fucking mycelial drive or whatever the fuck.
Like, did we just like accidentally drop that in a porta potty somewhere or something? Oh no, it's gone. It's a shame we can't use that anymore. I guess we'll go back to fucking Warp 5. Like, what the fuck?
That's the problem you run into with this stuff. It's prequelitis. It's like midichlorians. Like, well, now how do you make it so that doesn't matter anymore?
Just
right?
Never mention it again is what they're doing in the new series.
Right, and it's like, but like what you can do is like you can explain it and be like, look, like we don't use that the mycelial drive because it's based on like it's against the Prime Directive. Like we can't use the animals to do it, right?
Sure.
Because they're living things. So you say that or whatever, but you still have the problem of like, well, it happened one time.
Yeah,
you know?
No one learned anything from it.
Right.
Like, whatever.
Right.
Anyway.
And like the midichlorians, like honestly, like it's such a great idea that just like everyone sort of like hated, but
I don't know if I agree with you here, John.
well, it's a great idea because like it's based in actual biology where like he's talking about mitochondria, like that's what they are, right?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like the whole idea of the Force is it's like a mystical thing,
Right?
Giving
right.
it a biological reason is
exactly.
Like,
so what you do is you say, look, this is just the way we can tell. Like it doesn't matter. Like this is just the way we can see it biologically because you're in a science fiction world, like you kind of would think that like there would be a test, right? Like you like not just like, oh well, you're magic, like that works too, and I'm fine with that, and I think that that's the way they should have done it. But like, you just say
the
like
way it like boiled down to in the movie is like you have higher midichlorians.
Right.
Midichlorians are the Force.
Right. That's not what it should be. It should be like this is the way the mitochondria react to Jedi. And that's how it's like a litmus test. Like,
yeah.
Well, your blood looks like this, so that's probably means you're a Jedi, maybe. Like, I don't know.
I think it's kind of all superfluous, but I understand where you're coming from.
It shouldn't be a thing, is my point, really.
Yeah,
like, they shouldn't
like,
have
what do you
delved
do with
into
it
that.
now?
Yeah, what do you do with
exists?
it now? Exactly. You got to
think-
kind of, like, fight your way through it, but I don't know,
I think
man.
the best thing they could have done is to ignore it, and that's what they are doing. It's unfortunate that the movies themselves aren't like as good as they could be.
Well, Star Trek has to ignore this shit too, because like,
Yeah.
there's all nerds like us who are like, well, what about Warp 10? You know?
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
What about Warp 10? Just go Warp 10.
You raise your hand at the fucking Q&A, and you're like, "Hey, Jonathan Frakes, what about Warp 10?" And he's like, "You shut the fuck up."
You shut up.
I saw
I'll kill
Jonathan
you.
Frakes actually at the Lexington
did?
Comic-Con.
Oh man, I love him. What is he? Did you say hi to him?
I didn't like see him, like I was walking around and saw him in the bathroom and was like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah.
I went to a Q&A with him.
Okay, that's cool.
And somebody in the back like stood up and was like, "Hey, I'm a hardcore conservative, right-wing Christian Republican, and I want to thank Star Trek for having for being so much about faith." And like everybody in the room was like, "What?" And like Jonathan Frakes
right.
kind of like was like, "All right," and then he just went on this spiel for like
Yeah, that
for
makes
like
sense.
5 fucking minutes, and the guy.
Oh yeah, so you're at a convention?
The guy who was hosting it was like, "All right, that's all good and everything, but do you have a question in any of this?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, well, I want to know, Mr. Frakes, like, do you believe in God?"
Oh my god.
And everybody in the crowd was like, "Oh God, this is uncomfortable."
That's like unbelievable.
And he
That's
was-
unbelievable.
He was like, "Are you asking me about my faith right now?"
Yeah, I don't think I would have handled it well.
And he was
I'd have
like,
been
"Yeah,"
like,
and he was like, "Well, I believe that there's something out there." And
Yeah.
then he moved on.
good cover,
Yeah.
right? That's really shitty of that dude. That's really
he
shitty.
He had the mic for like fucking 10 minutes, dude. And like it's only a 45-minute long queue.
Well, the show was about him at that point, right?
Yeah,
that's how
it was his show.
Yeah, that's. I'm going to talk about God now. So here we go.
It was weird that I was in Lexington, Kentucky, and he said that he was a right-wing Christian, like
super weird,
conservative Republican, and only like 2 people in the crowd, the people he was with, said woo. Everybody else was dead quiet.
Yeah, everyone else is like, we're in a Star Trek thing? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, almost none of what you said ever shows up in Star Trek. What are you talking about?
Dude saw what he wanted to see, man.
Yes, there's a lot of that in Star Trek fandom, actually.
Yeah. That's a lot of it in Star Wars, too. People see things that, like, I don't think are there, but I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty overt religious overtones in Star Wars, but
I feel like our old boy George Lucas made a mistake when he called them the Rebels. Because there's a lot of connection drawn from people in my area, especially, that doesn't exist.
In your area of the state that separated itself from the other state because it didn't want to be a part of the Confederacy.
Yeah, strange, isn't it? Fuck this state. Jesus. I can't believe that, like, my fucking ancestors were like, yo, Virginia, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, we're not having slaves. Yeah.
We want to be part of America. We're making our own state. And then, like, not even however long later, like, we're just, like, Confederate flags fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but Jeff, I have a question for you. Do you believe in God?
I believe that there's something out there.
Okay, let's move on.
Dude, that would have been like a shit show, like in Lexington, Kentucky. Go ahead and ask me that question again.
Dude, wait, ask you again? You want me to ask you right now? Jeff, but do you believe in God? No. Fucking pitchforks.
I would have just started looking around the crowd for the next question.
People shooting 6 guns in the air. Yeah! A guy rides through on a horse.
Rackin' frackin' rabbit!
Everyone who listens to this who lives in Kentucky is like, I am not donating to this Patreon. If it ever happens.
Like, to make it clear, my problem is not that the guy believes in God.
Right, he can believe in God. I don't care.
Belief system than me in general.
Yeah,
it's that he held us hostage for 10 minutes to explain.
It was because it was about him. It was his show. He wanted it to be about him.
And it's also super rude to ask people what their religion is, like in a fucking.
But that's what those people do, man. That's what those people do.
Use the internet, man. It's on there. The answer's on there.
I have a better idea. Go to church.
Yeah, don't go to
They have a whole building that's tax exempt. It's tax exempt. Just go. You don't have to pay. Just go.
You can come to the Q&A. Just don't fucking take the mic for 10 minutes, dude.
Yeah. I saw Garrett Wang at a party. I saw Garrett Wang at a party once.
I remember the story.
And I like saw him and I was like, I'm gonna say something. And then I didn't because I was like, man, this guy probably doesn't want to hear my shit about Star Trek.
You were probably right.
Yeah, and then I like tweeted at him after the convention, and I was like, "Hey, I saw you in the green room, and like I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I said like, I know you're Ensign Kim on the show, but to me you'll be Captain Kim always because of like in the game." And he never replied to me, and I was like, "Man, what the fuck, dude?" Like,
wow, what a fucker.
I was like, "Yeah, man, like
he's definitely not getting that many tweets a day,
right?" It's Garrett fucking Wang. He's Ensign fucking Kim.
Yeah, he's not Captain Kim anymore, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's He's
got demoted like
now.
Paris.
He's Ketten. He's that weird cabal-y guy that he turns into.
Oh yeah, fuck,
he's that
Voyager's
fucker.
Stupid.
Fuck Voyager, it's stupid.
Jesus Christ. What a shit show.
Oh, so then Paris fucks the captain as a turtle.
They fucking
or catfish.
Take off in the ship and they go warp 10 and they disappear. And somehow they find them on like a jungle planet.
I guess.
And like Chakotay and Tuvok go down and they see 2 fucking catfish.
that have no legs.
They have arms but no legs.
Which makes perfect sense.
And they're like, oh, it's got traces of human DNA, so it's got to be them.
Yeah. And then they shoot it with a face.
Yeah, for no reason.
One of the things that's...
a bunch of babies come out of the ground and swim away because, guess what? Captain Catfish and Ensign Catfish fucked and had a bunch of baby catfishes.
In 3 days. In 3 days!
In 3 days.
They impregnated each other, well, whatever, however that works. I don't know. And then... and then the babies came out.
And apparently, they took these catfish back to the ship, and through the magic of science,
they just
turned them back into the exact way they were before any of this happened.
They don't even do any, like, transporter fuckery where they're like, well, we have their pattern and we can just, like, run it through this. Like,
no.
They're just like, it's fine now.
The small shit bugs me. Like, the big shit definitely bugs me, but the small stuff, like, they brought them back to the exact moment that they have the same length and style of hair as when they left.
Yeah, like they're not like fucked up or anything.
No,
they're
nothing
just,
about
fine.
them has changed.
I mean, I guess like they could grow your hair fast. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude.
This is my favorite entry into the Memory Alpha wiki, by the way. Paris and Janeway are reverted back to their human selves using the Doctor's anti-proton treatments, although Paris is extremely embarrassed about having mated with the Captain.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Like, what happens on Jungle Planet number 528 stays on Jungle Planet number 528. Am I right?
Yo, catfish be fucking.
He catfished her, dude.
But
he was like, I'm really a catfish. That's what catfishing means, right? When you're like, let's have sex. Hold on, I'm a catfish.
Yo, I'm not trying to have sex. I'm a catfish. Come and meet me.
Let's hang out. Oh, by the way, I'm a catfish.
That's how you catfish people.
That's what catfishing means.
And that's the end of the episode.
That's it!
I want to point out something. Supervising producer Brannon Braga, once this episode didn't go well, tried to distance himself from it pretty heavily.
Yeah.
And he said he liked the good intentions behind it, but he doesn't know where the whole de-evolving into a lizard thing came from. Dude, you wrote the final script. You know exactly where it came from.
Yeah. Like, it's a Twilight Zone episode, but it sucks. It's a shitty version of a Twilight Zone episode. And a horror movie.
He's like, we take it for granted that evolution means bigger brains and more technology and more refined civilization, but who knows? We could be moving back towards a more primordial state. That's not how evolution works,
That's
bro.
like not, as far as we know, that's not how it goes, but okay, sure.
Jesus Christ. Like,
I don't know, I'll ask Jonathan
become,
Frakes.
They don't become more primordial. That's not how shit works. Like, we might not become bigger brained with more technology, but we don't revert.
Right, you're not gonna we're not just gonna stop having thumbs.
Jesus Christ.
Because we don't need
thumbs.
thumbs.
Are the fucking height of evolution over here.
Oh, yo, dude. All right, did you see that video? Maybe not, but there is a video of this prosthetic thumb that you can put on the other side of your hand. It's fucking crazy, man.
What?
And you can do all kinds of shit with it. It's insane.
I'm gonna have to look this shit up.
Look it up, dude. It's you can pick up all kinds of shit. You can hold 50 cups in your hand if you have 4 thumbs. It's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed, man.
Dude, another thumb would be the most ballin' shit.
You wouldn't need to use certain hands for stuff. You could just do whatever.
Yeah.
Pick shit up with whatever hand.
Dude,
it's
I also
crazy.
wanted to point out, in the break, I found out that Michael DeLuca, who wrote this episode and wrote Freddy's Nightmare and is a producer, was also, straight up the fucking head of New Line Cinema when this was written. So no wonder he got to write it. He just waltzed in and was like, yo, I got a story about a dude turning into a catfish.
Michael DeLuca here.
Yo,
hey,
name's Michael
it's
DeLuca.
Me.
I'm gonna be a writer, everybody.
I have a real good idea about a catfish who flies a ship.
Yo, check it out. This dude, he turns into The Fly, that movie with that Jeff Goldblum dude. And he turns into the fly, but it's not a fly. Yo, not a fly. Yo, check it. It's a catfish.
It's a catfish.
Hey, catfish.
All right, I gotta go back to New Line Cinema and greenlight some movies.
Y'all work on that catfish for me.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, bro.
Yo, Brandon Braga. You work on that catfish story for me. I'm gonna go make Freddy's dead. It's a real conversation that happened. We just played
that was a recording. We
just played the recording for you.
That was a recording, yeah. Man, this episode is real bad. I don't even know what else to say other than I think we said it all. We said more than is necessary, honestly.
Jesus.
This episode sucks, dude.
Yeah, this is a fucking terrible episode. Like I said, this episode has no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. Like,
yeah.
There's no, like, point A to point B to point C. Like, point A is they figure out how to break warp 10. And point B is they do. That's where it ends. Then
right,
point C is the fly. And point D is a monster movie.
It's a
kidnapping.
mishmash. It's a mishmash.
Point E is salamander sex.
Yeah, it's Frankenstein, and then the Frankenstein turns into a catfish. Because then there's two Frankensteins.
Why did this get made? I get why it got made, right? The head of New Line Cinema wanted to make it.
Right, they were like, we'll do it, sure, whatever. It's, I don't know, man. This episode is goofy, but like, it's stupid. In everything that I hate about like Star Trek is this episode, because like you have needless universe breaking, which I hate in anything.
I hate that shit too.
Like we've talked about this ad nauseum, where we stayed up till 4 a.m. talking about this shit. Like, there's no reason for you to like even do this. Like, you just say you can't go warp 10. You just say it.
You can't go warp 10. Just don't. It's in the series Bible.
It's in the bylaws.
Not go warp 10.
Don't do it. Just don't.
Just make a different story about something good.
Yeah. Focus on like stories and not how fast the ship goes.
Yeah,
like, the ships go fast.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb.
We've got to the end of this. You said you had some stuff to talk about. Do you want to do that, or do you want to read a couple emails?
I talked about it already. I talked about the
it?
fucking Enterprise shit and how like it's better.
Yeah, we went off on some good tangents. This is another tangent episode.
We talked about how we don't believe in God.
We may have alienated a portion of our viewership.
We talked about why Christians are annoying.
Whoa, we did. That did happen.
Baptist. I'm assuming that guy was like a Baptist.
Probably.
Because
like
I grew up around that shit, and trust me, that's annoying.
I did too. It's why I don't believe in God.
Yeah. No God would let those people live.
If you believe in God, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's fine. Seriously, like I'm not saying like
I
you
got
shouldn't
no
or whatever.
problems
I'm not.
with it.
Yeah, that's not.
Just don't
I'm not saying.
kidnap a room full of like hundreds of people.
Yeah, don't make me listen to your like thesis about why I should believe in God.
Yeah,
because there's one thing that I will not do is listen to like people tell me to believe in. That's like the number one. Like, don't do that.
Josh, let's get you to believe in some things.
Okay, I believe in these emails.
Yeah, let's go to some emails. We got a couple emails that were supposed to be in the last episode, so I think in the last emails episode. So I think this is a good time to do this. It's not going to make any sense timeline-wise, because this episode's going to come out like a long time from now.
Yes.
But fuck it.
But fuck it. B-U-T-T fuck it.
Our first email is from Pezcorn.
I know that guy. Or girl.
I know it's probably a dude from the name in the email, but I'm not gonna say that name.
Yeah, they're on the stream, I believe.
Yeah. Hello, Trek boys.
Trek boys.
How are you guys today? Just kidding.
Good.
I don't actually care.
Nice. I like this. I like this already.
Got him.
Nice.
Anyways. I have a sort of a question about an episode of TNG that's been bugging me for years.
Okay.
In the episode The Chase, Picard and all the other main alien races find out that they all share the same basic genetic code and essentially come from the same place. My question is, how the hell are you going to get this information and not want to know any more? I mean, they all literally just go back to their ships and leave and never speak of it again.
I think because it would break the rules of the universe, right? The status quo is...
Yeah, that's true. Like,
yeah.
for the storytelling aspect, I'm sure that, like, scientists on Earth, like, kicked in fucking overdrive about it.
Sure, they probably... Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure there was a lot of, like, cross-scientific study between, like, the Federation races on the ship.
Yeah, but think about it also, though, too. Like, what happens to the galaxy in the immediate... Not the immediate, but, like, a couple of years down the road, like, things start drastically changing. Like... The Klingons are even more allies with the Federation, and even the Romulans are like on board with the Federation
during the whole like Dominion War and everything. Like,
yeah, everyone starts to it's like things don't happen overnight. Like it's not like the next day the Romulans were like, well, I mean, this changes everything. You know, it takes a little time for them to like
And I mean, that might have been the first step towards it, for all we know.
Right. It's just one step in the
ground.
Right. It's one step in the diplomatic chain that leads to normalization.
I will say this: like, if at our current technology level in TNG, we didn't have the capability to figure out that we share some type of genetic template with these other alien races in some way, we wouldn't have been able to study it in the way that you're talking about, even if we did.
Right, like, that could have also been, like, just maybe things evolve that way. Like, maybe that's in our area of the galaxy, or maybe everywhere, maybe that's just a standard part of evolution. Like, everybody kind of looks like that, right? Like, people evolve that way.
Yeah.
But without the what do they call them? Like, not the founders, the architects,
precursors or something.
Yeah, without them, with saying like we did this, like that's earth shattering because it's like, oh, I mean, they like made it this way.
There might have been like a huge push to study it when it was found out, but then they found out that they didn't have the technology level to see that connection.
So like this
honestly,
all plays in
might
with
be like a sort of like a hidden thing. I'm sure it is when it comes to like Klingons and Romulans and stuff. They hid that information.
Right, they might have known about it, but This plays into the like the Iconians and shit. Like this story in
Star Trek Online,
Yeah. Like well, it's canon. It's canon, man. CBS owns it. They have to. So like I've learned
Star
this.
Trek
like
Discovery's canon too, but
So like, but CBS like. CBS. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's but like the way that it goes back is like that. Like all these races, like in the galaxy, were like what do they call it? Panspermiad, right?
Yeah.
Which we believe is a theory that could be happening anyway. Our scientists on Earth now in real life just believe that like there are certain currents and eddies in the galaxy, and since the galaxy moves and it flows like kind of like a river, like in a circle, that like comets with water and bacteria and it just crash into planets, and like things are similar. That's how things we think, but we don't know because we don't have any proof.
Yeah, we're thinking there's some like scientists now are thinking there's some sort of a like evolutionary path that all things go upon.
Right. And like maybe there's a great barrier, right? They believe that like maybe we get to a point and we just can't survive anymore, which is fucking terrifying. Yeah. You should look that shit up.
Everybody's worried that we're almost there at all times, but
we're
it
like,
certainly feels like it.
Right now it does.
Yeah. We are tearing ourselves apart as a species. So
yay!
That's good.
Let's blow up soon.
That's a great question, though.
That is a really good question, yeah. I love shit like this. I love questions like this because I get to talk about stuff, and Jeff gets to make fun of me because I play too much Star Trek Online.
I still haven't played it.
You should play it when the expansion comes out.
Maybe I will.
You could be a Jem'Hadar.
I don't want to be a Jem'Hadar.
Why not?
They live terrible lives.
Well, you know, so do we.
Yeah, but I live terrible life anytime. I don't need to play in a game.
That's true. We could just be around. We could just live.
I could just go outside if I want to live a terrible life.
True.
I was also wondering when Jeff is going to get a guest spot on Pretend Friends.
I don't know!
I also don't know. I feel like he'd be a perfect fit. If you're reading this email after Jeff has already been on it, then good job on the episode, Jeff. I love that part where you killed that insert noun here, and that catchphrase was amazing.
Yes.
I had a great catchphrase. It was, let's go jerk them dicks. That was my catchphrase.
That's the best one I've ever heard.
The answer to that question is,
Yeah, I have no idea. I would love it. It would be great. I think you would be great on it.
The other Continue guys are cool, but I don't really know them. I know, like, Josh and I are, like, bestest pals, and Kevin and I are, like, real good pals,
Well,
too.
Kevin, like, owns it, so he'll just make you be on it.
Nobody else will want me on it, just Kevin.
Yeah,
Everybody else will be sitting there with their arms crossed like, fucking M-class podcast guy.
I don't like this guy. He's too funny.
Fucking Star Trek asshole.
We already have enough beards here.
That's true. There's a lot of beards in that room. So the answer is I don't know. Go ask Kevin.
Kevin would know.
Is the real answer to that question.
Yes.
P.S. The rude remark in the beginning was just a bit. I actually do care.
I got
XOXO.
it. We laughed at it. It was funny.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Now this is less funny because you're apologizing.
No, it's sweet.
Ew. Don't be nice to me.
Don't ever be nice to me. Don't smile at me.
I don't deserve it.
Why don't we take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our last email and our final thoughts.
This better be a good email.
It's a long one.
Okay.
We'll be back after these messages.
Stardate 45484.7. While exploring a planet near the neutral zone, the Enterprise shuttlecraft comes under disruptive cannon fire from a Romulan warbird. The shuttlecraft fires back with its phasers, which are deflected by the Romulan shields. Suddenly, the Enterprise appears, firing her photon torpedoes. Outgunned, the Romulan warbird activates its cloaking device and is gone. Under impulse power, Enterprise maneuvers out of orbit before engaging warp drive. Star Trek: The Next Generation. New action accessories from Playmates.
And we're back on an episode that's supposed to be about a Voyager episode, but it's super not.
Yeah, who cares about that stupid show?
Fuck that shit.
I don't care.
Let's talk about another email we got.
Okay.
This is from Jamie Hott.
Hi.
Who says, hello, Trek Troys. Spelled like Counselor Troy. I thought that was cute.
Trek Troy. I'm sensing a Trek Troy.
Oh, no. I'm sensing great Trek Troy from them.
That's really good. That's really good. I was like, oh my god, is Marina Sirtis here?
Marina Sirtis was their guest tonight. Sorry for the long email, but I just listened to everything up to now, and I'm
so sorry. I'm so sorry you did that to yourself.
I really want to figure out how many hours that actually is, because some of our episodes are like 3 fucking hours long.
Some of them are really long.
And some of them, like the last one, are like 50 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is Chow8971 from the streams.
Okay.
And yes,
I call you Chai.
Yeah, I noticed that. Or
because I can't read.
I think you call it KO.
Chaos. Yeah, I see like CH. I can't. So a lot of times I don't have my glasses on. I'm very blind. So
yeah, why don't you wear your glasses when you stream?
They're annoying.
I wear glasses every minute of my life.
They hurt my ears when I have my headphones on. I don't like it.
What a fucking baby.
Why my ears hurt?
And yes, Hot is my real last name. It's cool and not fake.
I'm very confused as to whether it is or not now. I have no idea if that was sarcastic.
A man of mystery, Jamie Hot. I've really enjoyed your podcast and can't wait for more. Oh, thank you. It's filling my need for Josh, and I've really enjoyed getting to know Jeff.
I liked it too, getting to know him sexually.
You getting to know me biblically is what this podcast is all about.
Yeah, we're talking about the Bible this episode.
Thank you, though. That really means a lot. I'm like Josh's annoying Orko sidekick from He-Man. So
Orko rules, dude.
I like Orko too.
Yeah, Orko's dope.
Also, thanks for convincing me to start DS9. It's been good so far. It's a real good show.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't watched Deep Space Nine because of anything they've heard about it,
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you?
they were wrong. Go watch it. It's fucking
Yeah.
great.
Fuck those people. Go watch it.
I forgot how freaking bad Code of Honor was.
Yeah.
I always considered the episode about the Native Americans on a planet and Wesley having spirit quests in an attic the worst episode of Next Gen. But I think I might reconsider now. It's just, man, that
it's
ending,
rough.
That ending where Wesley makes the Native Americans riot and start their war against the Cardassians, then time freezes and he runs off with the Traveler and Picard just has to deal with the problem.
That is a very bad one.
I think Wesley's worthlessness just bothers me more than anything in TNG, and this one really shows it.
Well, he's double worthless, right? Because he goes to the academy and just fucks off and, like, sucks.
Yeah, he's fucking terrible. Like,
Yeah, he stinks.
He's the worst character in Star Trek history.
And then he's like, I'm just gonna go do shit.
Yeah,
See ya.
Fuck the Academy and being in Starfleet. That's all I've ever wanted my whole life. But in this episode, I changed my mind and leave.
I'll be back when Troy marries Riker, don't worry.
Yeah, and they'll forget that I did this, and I'll just wear a uniform for Starfleet.
I'm back.
I figured I would play the popular email game Cincinnati Mike's Kiss It or Miss It.
Cincinnati Mike's. It's like the fake sriracha. It's like the whatever brand.
TNG Data Fucks. A mysterious plague is affecting a Vulcan colony, and the Enterprise is called to investigate.
Oh, I know you're gonna pitch this.
The men were wiped out, and this plague has made all the women in the colony enter their pon farr. To prevent spreading it to the crew, Data is sent down to assist with curing the plague and has lots of sex. This episode would also fill in all the details about Data's full functionality. I never thought of an ending, so there you go.
So it's the Futurama episode where they do the snoo.
Yo, I can think of an ending. A happy ending.
I think this is okay. This is like super like fanficky, but sure.
It's straight up like the TNG porno parody.
I mean, I think that you could write it so that like you're having to have Data like question whether it's okay to do this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I think you
I'm
could
gonna ditch it because I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to see Brent Spiner's peen. Okay. I'm sorry, Brent Spiner.
Do they paint it? Do you think he makes them paint it
gold? Right?
No, but I mean,
the greeny color.
Do you think that he makes them do that anyway, even though no one's ever gonna see it?
I don't need my chest or arms painted, but you gotta do the thing.
Just in case, I don't know.
I'm fully functional. I bet he still says that at like conventions when hot girls come up. He's like, I'm fully functional.
It does happen. They were hitting on Garrett Wang.
Man.
They were hitting on Garrett Wang. I won't say who it was, but somebody was.
Somebody you knew?
I didn't know them, but I know who they were.
Oh my god.
Maybe I just saw it that way. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. Anyway.
You hit on Garrett Wang. You were like, you'll always be my captain.
I love you. What was I was gonna say something. Oh, did you ever see like a porno where they like it's like a parody? It's like Star Wars or whatever, and they're painted, and then they start fucking, and then the paint starts getting everywhere. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. That's weird because it's like, first of all, the immersion is gone, but also like I don't want to watch some dude get like red paint all over his dick area.
No, it's not really. I'm not into that.
Like I'm fine with the dick, but like I don't want it to look like he's bleeding from his dick,
or she's bleeding from her vagina.
Or that. Yeah. I mean, time makes fools of us all, but
that's the lesson you should take from this episode. Is that time makes fools of our dicks.
Mistakes can be made without you knowing.
Well, one more. DS9 Rumpelstiltskin Part 2. I'm going to pitch this one already.
This reminds me of Mike. That episode reminds me of Mike so much. When he lived with me for like a little bit and we watched that episode and we were fucking rolling, dude. We were laughing so fucking hard.
Nothing fucking beats a Rumpelstiltskin showing up in something.
This place is crazy. They got a Rumpelstiltskin. What's going on?
Q shows up on the station, and during his messing around, brings Rumpelstiltskin back. The episode is filled with both of them causing issues on DS9. And the episode ends with both of them becoming friends and going to the Gamma Quadrant to do some crazy shit. I don't know. It works best if they're, like, competing to see who can be the most mischievous.
That would be great. That would be great.
I'd be all about that.
I would pitch that. That's awesome.
I would definitely pitch that. If you add my little 2 cents into it, I'd pitch that.
Yeah, I would pitch it that way also. I think that would be really funny.
I also wanted to suggest some collections for you to consider.
Finally. Hopefully they're not bad episode ones.
What if that was the first one? Bad episode collection.
Fucking smash this microphone against my face.
Court trial collection. Every
Great
season
one.
usually has some kind of trial episode, and most of them are good.
That's a good one.
The only other one I could think of was the Blast from the Past collection. Cameos from previous series showing up in the current series, or things influencing this series from another show.
That's a super good one.
TOS could not be done, but every other show has an episode about another show messing with it, including...
we could do the Pike episode where he's in the wheelchair thing.
Yeah, I mean, we could also do, like, something that shows up in Enterprise that affects TOS.
Oh, absolutely. There's tons of that stuff.
Yeah. One last thing. Did you hear that a fake research paper based on the worst episode of Voyager was published in a science journal? I'd recommend reading about it a little bit. I thought it was interesting, and he gave us a link. So,
what's the worst one?
Threshold.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So once this episode comes out, I'll post this link to our Twitter.
Along with a picture of the catfish people.
Yes, just so you know what I'm talking about. And I'll give this to you after this, Josh.
All right, I'd like to read it.
Anyway, sorry again for the long email, but I hope this reaches you well, and I wait excitedly for a new episode. Keep on trekking, boys.
Thank you. That was a great email. It wasn't long at all.
No, it was really good.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for, it means a lot that, like, somebody would sit through every single episode of this podcast and then send us a nice email at the end of it.
That's crazy.
Like, if I had to listen to myself for that long, that email would be just so fucking mad and angry.
I don't listen to myself. I refuse. I'm not doing that shit.
You edit the episode, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't listen to it, though. Like, I just, like, edit
That's
it.
true. I always get a kick out of people who, like, reference things that I said in an episode, and I'm like, I don't remember that shit.
Yo, do fucking 400 episodes to continue, and then have people be like, remember that time? And you're like, nope. Sure don't.
Dude, I can't even remember shit I said on the newest episode of Gym Class. So.
I can't remember shit I said, like, yesterday to, like, my mom when I talked to her.
I can't remember shit I said at the beginning of this podcast that we're recording right now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't either.
I probably said this. My name is Jeff at some point.
My name Jeff.
Oh, God.
Do you like that movie?
You and every other motherfucker on Earth had to say
My
that to
name
me
Jeff.
at a certain point. And now everybody knows that it annoys me, so I can't wait to hear more of that. Especially from fucking Dakota Frutchy, you asshole.
That dude, I know him.
He's a good dude. He did the out of context M class for a little while.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was cool.
Why does he do it? Keep doing it.
He stopped doing it like a long time ago.
Make fan art of us.
Yeah, give me things to feed my ego.
Entertain my ego.
This is actually going to be an okay length episode now.
Yeah, we filled it with some stuff that was better than the actual talking about the stupid episode.
Jesus, if we would have tried to have talked about this episode, it really would have been all filler, no killer.
Jeff, no, we did. That was it.
It was
like,
fun.
I don't know. If you didn't watch the episode and you're listening to this, go watch it. And you'll see. You'll be like, it's over. It's done. That's it.
Nothing happens.
It's stupid.
It's so bad. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this episode.
Thank you. I have allergies or something.
I got a sniffly nose too, so
yeah. I've been
okay.
sneezing. I've been having to mute my mic and sneeze and shit.
Oh God. I'm glad you told everybody.
They won't know. I muted it. Bitch.
They won't know. I just said it out loud. They won't know.
They don't know, man.
Dumb-dumbs
podcast.
at home don't know any of this shit.
They don't even hear it.
No one listens to this anyway, so.
That's true.
We have 420 followers on Twitter. Did you see that?
Oh, shit, we do. I'm about to have 420 followers in my lungs. You know what I mean?
Smoke weed every day.
Hey, 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 hey.
Star Trek. Whatever. Fuck it.
It
The
is
episode's
awesome.
over. This threshold ruined me for all time. Fuck it.
Yeah, this is a bad one, and I'm sorry we had to watch it, and I'm sorry that we had to do these terrible episodes.
They're alright. People will like them, I hope.
I mean, our episodes are fine. I'm talking about the episodes of the show.
Fuck those.
I mean, I guess we had to at some point, right? Like, we had to, like, do the bad ones and make fun of the
Just
thing
get
we
them
love.
out of the way. Not at the beginning, but, like, near the beginning, right?
This'll dispel anybody's, like, notions that we just love everything, because we absolutely do not, so.
Somebody did, like, a review of our podcast. Did you ever see that?
No, what did they say about it?
Nothing is the thing. Like, they're a show that reviews podcasts, and they, like, talked at length about a bunch of podcasts, and they got to ours, and they got into this huge, ridiculous argument about whether Star Wars or Star Trek was better.
Oh, okay,
And
so
then-
that helps us.
Yeah, and then they just ended the segment and moved on. The only thing they said that they liked about our podcast was that we don't just mollycoddle everything because it's Star Trek.
Oh, no, we absolutely don't.
We tell it like it is, and we call out shit that's stupid.
Yeah, there's tons of stupid shit in the stuff I love.
Yeah, just because I think something is dumb in something doesn't mean I don't
Right.
love it.
It doesn't mean that, like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, but it's okay because I like it. Like, no.
No,
I'm an
I love
objective
Star Trek.
thinking- yeah.
Like, I love Star Trek to the fucking moon and back, right?
Hell yeah.
But if something's dumb, I'll call it dumb.
Yeah, not everything's gonna be a winner all the time, right?
Right. That's just statistically impossible.
It's just math. Yeah, it's the way it is.
But thanks everybody for tuning in.
Oh, that reminds me though, make a review on the iTunes.
Oh yeah, if you didn't know, since I can't link it or anything, our podcast is on iTunes, and if you would give us a review, a good review, a bad review, a medium review, whatever you got, it'd be good for us.
Yeah, whatever you want.
And tell your friends about M Class Podcast. Your friends.
Tell your
who are-
mom about it.
Tell your clergy.
Go to church on Sunday. Or wherever you go.
Tell everybody you know about it. Like, people who aren't really interested in Star Trek who maybe want to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is the podcast for that, is what I've heard. A lot of people have gotten into Star Trek because of this podcast, which warms fucking
Well, that makes me
deep
feel
recesses
good.
of my heart.
That makes me feel good too with what you just said, because we're not selling you anything. We're just telling you what we think, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're not getting Star Trek money for this.
I wish. Star Trek,
tell-
call us.
Tell Jonathan Frakes, interrupt his convention and ask him if he likes God, and then tell him about M Class Podcast.
Hey, I know everybody else had some questions, but I'm going to describe my podcast to Jonathan Frakes for 20 minutes. Is everybody cool? All right, let's go.
God said it was fine to do this.
Yeah, iTunes reviews are good. Tell all your friends about it. Somebody said that we were a Star Trek podcast for normal people, which
Well.
is my favorite review.
All right.
I like that a lot. Because a lot of Star Trek podcasts tend to be really kind of like dry and like science heavy and
Look.
like
Since I play a lot of STO, I can tell you from my experience, Star Trek fans are weird.
yes.
And I'm weird, but
Yes.
I'm not weird in the way that most people think Star Trek fans are weird. It's not the weirdest MMO I've ever played, though. SWTOR was the weirdest people played that
Star
game.
Wars fans are fucking like hyper unbelievable fucking fans of Star Wars.
And they were like a certain kind of like older male, I would say, who like were very like not acceptable socially. It was weird. Like
you don't you could just fucking call me out by name, Josh. You don't
Jeff
have to-
Pennington was one guy I met, and he was really terrible a
Yeah.
person.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even believe in God.
Oh, man. Josh is an atheist, everybody. Fuck it. I'll call him out in front of everybody.
My grandmother called me agnostic once, and I was like, okay.
Well, agnostic is like, I don't know.
Yeah, agnostic. That's more like what I am.
I am too. I'm much more agnostic than anything.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I'm agnostic about all things. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe. Sure.
I don't know.
It's possible. Why not?
That's how I say it. When somebody's like,
I don't know.
What's your belief system? I don't know.
I just fart with my mouth and go, I don't know.
Make
And
a
I
jerk off motion.
I get real sassy. Like I get real like I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? And then it just shuts them up. That's what you should just start doing when people ask you that shit. Just be like, I don't know. And just be super fucking weird.
That'll stop people from trying to talk to you for sure.
They won't talk to you about it. Yeah, man. They'll be like, okay.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking our podcast. Leave us a nice review. And we'll be back in a week or 2 weeks, depending on which show you're listening to.
Bye.
Bye-bye.